did the work, which I noticed because you sent it to me. Like
I
a
know.
good
Come
student.
on. I'm like a really good student, right? You wouldn't think that you think I'd be like a totally disobedient asshole, but I am like really a good student.
You totally are.
I know. I take things really seriously. I was like a straight A student. I was like all like, people are like, weren't you an intravenous drug addict? I was like, but I was still a straight A student, so.
That's not
No,
an easy
I take
combination.
I take this really seriously because it's something that's really important to me. So what's interesting for this week, and I probably should have again reached out to you. My mom's dementia. My mom is a big part of my wound and why I choose unavailable people. And I've known that for a long time. And then, well, she has dementia. And she had a back problem. They gave her pain meds, and then she just completely like was so looped out, didn't, thought it was 1980 and Truman was president, and like it was so painful, and was really paranoid that I was talking to people. It's like, hi, I'm your power of attorney. Like, I'm your child. Like, this is my job. And I got off the phone with her and cried and cried and cried. And someone said to me, oh God, right? You're just like, here's a vlog of Amy crying every day while we do work. You fucking asshole. You think Amy's a badass? This is her crying every session.
That's the badass part, by the way.
Well, this is the real shit. I mean, this is the real shit. So crying, 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 crying. She's had dementia for a while. Having her sort of degrade so much on the meds was very painful. My whole childhood, I didn't really feel like she could hear or see me. Like, hi, here I am. Look at me. Pay attention to me. Love me. Aren't I pretty? Hi. And that's what I do with men. I pick men who are like completely emotionally unavailable, aren't interested in a relationship, people who don't think I'm amazing or won't admit it, and do that same exact thing. Like, love me. Hi, here I am. Pay attention. Don't you love, aren't I amazing? So my mom's dementia, like this week really rocked my world. And someone said, you're mourning that you'll never have the mother that you want. You'll never have the mother, I'm gonna cry again. You'll never have the mother that you wanted. And I knew that already, but I think that her, not dying, but her really like, I never was gonna get this from her. I've never gotten this from her. I'm 50 years old. I mean, the wound has to be sorted within myself. But somehow I think I've been in denial because there's moments of lucidity that maybe she'll get it. Like maybe she'll come, you know what I mean? Like holding on to that hope. And also, I always felt like she couldn't hear me, and now she's deaf. I always felt like she wasn't excited enough and like didn't see what I was doing. And now I'm really got my shit together and I'm doing cool stuff, and she can't even understand what I'm talking about. And so it hit me so hard this week, and I just cried and cried and cried. And then I was doing the homework, and of course I was just like, oh, like, could this be more on point? Like, there was stuff that had to do with childhood stuff, and it was just really fucking painful. I don't know if that's better or worse, but yeah.
That makes sense. And, your friend was absolutely right. This part of healing the mother hunger and the mother wound is about looking at it, which is what you're doing, face to face, like looking at it straight on without any rationalizing, justifying, minimizing, or denying, seeing it for what it is,
Right.
accepting it and grieving that loss.
Well, grieving also, like my mom, the person who she is, I don't know who this person is. This is not my mom. Even though I never really liked my mom, and that's a horrible thing to say, but I didn't feel connected to my mom the way I feel connected to my dad. Thank God my dad is here.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and coherent and in remission from cancer. And like, I still have one parent. And so I'm like leaning. So I was like, if you didn't do what you did in my childhood, I'd be a fucking psychopath. Like, for real. I can't even imagine what I would have been like. I just don't understand why I'm not patterning my relationships on my amazing relationship with my dad, who thought I was a princess and loved me and showed up. Like, why can't I pick men who think that, you know, versus, because I know, because we seek the resolution of the wound of the parent.
That may be part of it. And, you know, that sometimes it's also just because, yes, you're seeking the resolution, you still it's sort of this thing of the hopeless hoper. Like, we're still trying
Ugh,
to give mom a chance to show up and be the mom we always wanted her to be,
right.
right?
Yeah.
And accepting and admitting to ourselves that actually we can't change the past, we can't go back and make her be a different mom. She never has been, and now that she's got this dementia, there's
Ugh.
absolutely no chance that she ever will be.
No, and she never was going to. Do you know what I mean? It didn't matter. I mean, even if she ever, I mean, she showed up a lot during my addiction, but it was too late. I needed her when I was 9, not fucking 29. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Girl, I know it's so hard.
You know what I mean? That's when I needed her. I needed her when I was fucking 9 years old.
Right,
You know? Like,
right.
it was great that she showed up during that, but it was like, it's too fucking late.
Right.
And
No, I
so
hear
it's
you,
so,
babe.
it's just so, just really painful. And I'm kind of crushing out on someone else who's emotionally unavailable again. And I'm like, and I just see all the same stuff, which is like, he'll come around. He's going to see I'm amazing. I'm going to earn his trust. Like, I see all the same old shit coming up. And, you know, I can't control those feelings. I can control having a boundary and maintaining a business relationship. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm sure he knows.
Maybe,
I
maybe
mean,
not. What's great
I'm
is
not sure, but I'm just trying to control, like, I don't know. I mean, I make weird comments and whatever, but it's like, I'm just bummed out that I did this and that I'm doing this again. You
okay.
know, that I wouldn't be like, ew, like, this person totally cannot show up. Bye. Like, well, I have to do business with them, so it's fine. But it's like, you know, there's something about him that hits, like, plugs right into all my shit.
Exactly. That's why he's showing up, like you said, dovetailing right along with everything
Right.
else.
I know. I did something. I don't know if you've ever heard of the pattern, but I was like, I put both our birthdays in. It was like, he's a mirror for your issues. And I was like, oh, God, fucking I.
But and PS, every relationship is a mirror for your issues. So of
True.
course, you know what I mean?
Right. How you feel about yourself. And I was like, oh my God. Ay, 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 ay.
Yeah.
So,
And
um,
you know, it's sort of like it is with the drinking. Like, of course you did it again.
yeah, right.
Right. Of course you did, honey. And it's okay.
Yeah,
Like, aren't you cute? Aren't you adorable? Like,
right,
can you love yourself through that?
right,
And so what needs to happen next for you to get to the next level of acceptance and forgiveness with your mom, so that doesn't happen anymore,
right.
you know? And a large part of that is just seeing her for who she is, accepting what she has to offer, and
Which
accepting.
isn't a lot right now. I got to tell you, I'm really, you know, she's wheelchair bound. I'm, you know, power of attorney. I have to handle all her bill. I mean, it's, you know, there's not really a place for resentment because I'm, you know, I mean, she lives in another state. She's in assisted living, but I mean, every day I'm getting like calls from nurses and social workers and chaplains, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a full-time job. Like, you know, she wants me to, you know, send her this and this, and she wants this and she wants this. And it's like, there's not place for me to be angry. And I was angry during my addiction. I mean, when I get high, I used to call and scream at her and stuff like that. So it's like, when I was really uninhibited and high, I was just like, it all came out.
Mm.
So I'm, I do accept that she did the best she could compared to a mother who was schizophrenic who beat the shit out of her. Hey, man, good improvement. You know what I mean? I mean, I've never had a child. It seems like a full-time job. It seems really difficult.
Yeah.
And she's a recovering alcoholic.
And at the same time, honey, you didn't get what you didn't get.
Right.
Right? Like the bottom line is you did not feel seen. You did
Right.
not feel delighted in. You did not have a felt sense of safety. These are things that a child needs.
Right. I
Right?
got that from my dad.
Well, and thank God. Right? And yet,
Otherwise, I'd be like a serial killer. I swear to God, I don't even know. You're like, you'd be talking to me like in prison. You're like, so how's it going in there?
thank God. Thank God for dads like yours and mine.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there is a special relationship with our mothers. It's the first person we love. We come out of her body.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like women for a really long time. Like that was a big thing coming in to recovery. I didn't like women. I didn't want a woman sponsor. I had a few. I do have women friends. I've gotten better with that. I've gotten a lot better with that. But I didn't trust them. I didn't like them.
Mm.
And I don't think I could manipulate them.
Yeah.
Like with my sexuality. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
totally.
For like gay women, gay girl. You know what I mean? I think
You
that
hit
they're
the nail on the head, babe.
yeah, completely. I'm like, why are all my best friends lesbians? And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Right. Because they're crushing on you the way you're crushing on this other guy. I feel like many times the women like us who have a lot of masculine energy, it's partly how we have empowered ourselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And part
totally.
of it is, yes, you were raised by a man, so was I.
Yes. So was I. So yeah, right. So I'm like mirroring that person. Like that was my role model.
Right.
So you know what I mean?
So there's that. But there's so much more in that dynamic too.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad was very nurturing. Your dad was in many ways the mom and the dad. It's really just about looking at it and seeing it for what it is and letting it be what it is and not trying to change it, not trying to make excuses for them, because sometimes we feel really loyal to those people who hurt us because they're still our parents.
Right.
So you're making the unconscious conscious. That's what you're doing right now.
My ex-boyfriend, the idea that I did nothing wrong and he still left. Well, fuck.
Right. So how do you protect yourself from that happening again? Becomes the question, right?
Well, there was red flags in the beginning. There was
that's what I'm about to say.
There was a zillion red flags in the very beginning. I'm terrified. The first night I fucked him. First night we met, he was like, I am terrified of relationships and marriage. And I should have just been like, bye. You know what I mean?
Maybe not immediately, but he's terrified of relationships and he tells you that the first night that you have sex. He's turning the phone down and not letting you look at it. There continue to be little signs along the way. And there comes a point along the way where when we are not willing to look at it, that's where we repeat the same thing we did with not willing to look at what really happened in childhood, not willing to see that mom is never going to be different from who she actually is.
Right. Like I got more and more of what I wanted. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he would say like, we're practicing for when we're 80. And I'm like, he's coming around. He's coming around. You know what I mean? If I just hold on, I'm going to get what I want. And that was, I think, one of the questions. It was like, sort of like, it was like, if I just hold on, like I'll get what I need and want. And it's like, that's a big one for me.
Okay. That's a great insight, sweetheart.
Yeah. Like, if I just keep holding on and chip away, they're going to see how charming and they're going to come around. And it's like, ugh. And I did get more of what I wanted, but did I get everything I wanted? No.
And what was the cost to you?
What was the cost? Well, when he left, I fucking lost my mind completely.
Yes, and what is the cost of every time you had to fight to get him to introduce you as his
A
girlfriend?
lot of times I wouldn't even do it. I would either I sometimes like with like not putting me on Instagram. We had one fight about it and then I just let it go. I was scared to push too much because I was afraid he'd leave. And with the phone, I think I made one or two comments and then I just left it alone. And I was very accommodating.
You're going to stop being so accommodating.
Yeah, I mean, uh, I wish I had stood up for myself and my needs more and been like, if you're not willing to do that, like, then there's the door, bitch. Bye. Like, fuck you. Like, I'm not getting what I need here. Like, that is not okay with me. And been willing, you know what I mean? So, because he didn't stay anyway. I was totally accommodating and he didn't stay anyway.
Amazing. Write it down. Like
I just fucking figured that out.
all
Holy
that.
shit.
Because
Right?
here you are sacrificing and abandoning yourself by letting go of what you actually really need to
Right.
accommodate him in the hope that he won't leave.
And
And
he
he
still,
left anyway.
I kind of swallowed a lot of shit in that relationship. I sort of just,
Yeah.
oh, you don't want to sign a lease with me? Like, and then blah, 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 blah. And then I'd go out and cry and call, but I never just said, well, then fucking, we're not, then go. Like, I ate the feelings, like not literally, but I didn't have the balls to fucking confront him and say, like, that's not okay. Like, that doesn't feel good. Like, work it through, bitch. Like, nope.
And honey, I want to say, I could be wrong about this, but I don't think it's that you didn't have the balls. I think it's that you didn't have the faith.
The faith, what?
The faith that he would show up. And if he didn't show up, you would be okay.
I think the thing that really hit me when we started doing the work was that, I thought that by being by myself for 3 years, I had worked through this stuff.
Mm.
And I'm exactly the same person I was in this stuff. All the old stuff has come up, the kind of, and I'm like, oh, okay, great. Everyone's like, well, you need to be on your own and be comfortable being by yourself. It's like, okay, I'm comfortable being by myself. Done it for 3 years. I think I posted something and I think you saw it. What was like, you're not afraid of new love. You're afraid of old pain. And my head fucking blew off.
Yeah.
Because it's so true. That's where I'm at now. I don't want to be hurt again. I don't think I can handle it. And I think a lot of people feel that way.
A lot of people feel that way.
They're just like, fuck that. I don't want to get hurt again. I can't be through it. It's like, but like you said, like knowing you'll be okay if it doesn't work out.
And that's what the work will get you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that faith, that knowing you'll be okay if it doesn't work out. Because the truth is, baby, I'm not going to lie to you. Those wounds will always be what they were. Those wounds from childhood. You can't go back and make your mother a different person. We can't change, whatever happened, right? So those things will always be there. What you can get is a different perspective about it, a different way of looking at it, and tools to manage it when that wound gets touched again. Because stuff is always going to happen, things are going to come up. Yes, people are going to hurt you.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And they're going to hurt me and everybody in the whole wide world. And that's part of being human. And when we have better skills for soothing ourselves when those moments come up, and we have more faith that we'll be okay and we can trust ourselves to take care of ourselves because we've been practicing that for a while.